Now here's something rather special, launched today, but I've been playing with it beforehand. This is the Huawei Honor 7. Yes, it's a bit confusing, but think of Honor as the fun, modern brand, and Huawei as the more official, enterprise-focused side of things. In terms of tech, they're more or less equivalent, and they kind of feed off each other, thankfully. The Honor 7 is impressive. Bear in mind the RRP of £250 all in, £250 with what follows, and I think you'll be impressed too. It's aerospace-grade aluminium, sandblasted and CNC detailed, aside from the tasteful embossed Honor logo on the back, with plastic panels top and bottom for the radios. Comms is made more flexible by something we're starting to see more of, a dual SIM arrangement, whereby one of the slots can also carry a micro SD. It sounds like a kludge, but it's really quite neat. Fiddly though, as you might expect. A little mission impossible as your trembling fingers position the cards and then insert the tray into the nuclear reactor. I mean the smartphone. It's just about the perfect size too, hardly wider than my Nexus 5 and just a little taller, with a nice 5.2-inch 1080p screen. An extra button on the Honor 7's left side is labelled a smart key, and the idea is that you assign single, double and long presses to any applications or phone functions that you want within reason. It's not a totally new idea, but we don't see it very often, so well done Honor and Huawei. Inside is Huawei's own chip, the Kirin 935. Though what you really need to know is that there's 3 GB of RAM, unusual at this price point, plus the obligatory 16 GB of storage plus micro SD. Emotion UI here in version 3.1 form is both loved and hated, though I've always been rather fond of the idea of banishing the need to have an app drawer in the first place. It's one layer of the user interface that you don't actually need, if you think about it. Just have everything where you can see it and make a folder for all the bits and pieces you don't ever want, and so on. The software side of the device is all protected by the fastest and most foolproof fingerprint sensor here on the back that I've used. It took all of 5 first finger presses and 10 seconds, and that was it. Training done and dusted. Useful though it is for unlocking the Honor 7, it also acts as a virtual trackpad in that swipe up gives you recent apps and swipe down gives you notifications and shortcuts. It's slick and addictive. Fun to play with. Elsewhere, it's Huawei's typical Android loadout. Fans of stock Android won't like the way most of the core apps have been replaced, but it'll be fine for users who don't keep switching phones like I, and probably you, do. In terms of components, there's a mono speaker here, bottom left. The other neat machine grill is a dummy, but it's better than usual for a Huawei device. Here's a demo. This is full volume. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, though nowhere near class leading, of course. The cameras are really very good. The rear camera is 20 megapixels, f/2.0, and 1/2.4 optical format, outputting at 10 megapixel by default at 16:9, which seems sensible that you can bump that up. And focusing is fast with phase detection autofocus, the current flagship flavour of the month, but nice to have at this price point. There's no OIS, but you do get digital stabilisation. Time lapse and up to 30-second exposures, what Huawei are calling the silky water feature, are really cool to have on board. Oh, and the camera has a sapphire glass exterior to keep it scratch free. Now, I don't like shooting with filters in place, but there are loads here, and a learning feature that apparently starts offering the filters it detects that you're using most. Around the front, there's an 8 megapixel front-facing unit, and yes, giving you a glimpse into the behind the scenes on the phone show with what looks like a flash, but is actually a soft light to add a nice glow to one's natural beauty. Not me, obviously. Finishing off the Honor 7 are an infrared beamer, a twin antenna design, top and bottom, and seamless switching between them in a microsecond apparently, so no dead hold problems iPhones 4 style. Intelligent Wi-Fi switching off and on rather than always searching on your mobile, which is always a big power drain. Now all of this is shot at a special Honor event, hence the sexy black backdrop, so I can't really evaluate the device fully, and I certainly can't evaluate battery life, but there's a 3100 milliamp hour cell inside, and Honor says it supports fast charging, which may or may not be the same as Qualcomm's quick charge. Anyway, I was also impressed by how cool the Honor 7 stayed. All that metal, and apparently there's special heat dissipation engineering inside. Downsides? Well, I can't think of any. And this on a £250 phone. Maybe the lack of waterproofing, but this is being very picky. The Honor 7 is surprisingly good, stunningly good at the price. How long can the likes of HTC and Samsung keep their flagships above £500 in the UK when the likes of Honor can sneak in with a full metal premium device at under half the price?